replay the moments, the texts unanswered, the silence that screams louder than words. They moved on like you meant nothing, not because you weren't enough, but because they never meant to stay. That truth, it cuts deep, but it's the first step to freedom. You weren't there forever. You were their option, and now you get to choose yourself. Chapter 1. Stop pretending they owed you forever. Love is not a debt. It's not something owed. It's a gift. A gift someone chooses to give you. And when they take it back, when they walk away, it's not your failure, not your fault. It's their choice. Plain and simple. They don't owe you forever. No matter what your heart keeps whispering in the dark. No matter how many times your mind rewrites the story, convincing you they had to stay. You have to stop pretending otherwise. Stop pretending they owed you forever. Because that lie is what keeps you stuck. It's the chains binding you to a past that no longer exists. It's the trap that keeps you looking backward, hoping for something that will never come. Love is a gift. A beautiful, messy, imperfect gift. Gifts can be taken away. People can change their minds. They can leave. And when they do, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their choice. It hurts. It cuts deep. But it's not a judgment on you. You don't need to carry that weight. Holding on to the should have is poison. They should have stayed. They should have loved me better. They should have fought for us. That's all noise. Noise that keeps you locked in a prison of pain. Every time you repeat, should have, you're chaining yourself tighter. You're pretending you're owed something that was never guaranteed. You have to let go of that. Let go of the fantasy that they had to stay. They didn't. And that's okay, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Because their leaving reveals the truth about who they are, not who you are. It reveals their limits, their choices, their capacity for love. It doesn't reveal your value. You have to remember this. They already showed you who they are. The truth has been in front of you all along. The leaving, the silence, the goodbye. That was their message. Not your fault. Not your failing. Just their choice. Stop waiting for closure. Stop waiting for an apology that may never come. Healing doesn't need their permission. Healing doesn't depend on them. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. About reclaiming your power. About taking back your life. What does reclaiming your power look like? It starts with shifting your energy. Stop blaming them. Stop replaying every moment, every mistake, every word. Blame keeps you stuck. It keeps you small. It keeps you waiting. Waiting for them to make it right, to come back, to explain themselves. This pain you feel, it's not a punishment. It's your permission slip. Permission to stop pretending. Permission to stop holding on to something that's gone. Permission to start healing. To start living for you. So what do you do when the nights feel endless and the memories flood in? You remind yourself, love is a gift, not a debt. You remind yourself that their leaving is not your failure. You remind yourself that holding onto should have only hurts you. You remind yourself that the truth has been shown. You remind yourself that healing is yours to claim. You have to stop pretending they owed you forever, because they didn't. And when you finally stop pretending, you start to see the freedom waiting on the other side. Freedom from the chains of their leaving. Freedom from the weight of what if. Freedom to rebuild your story without them. It's not easy. It's not quick, but it's necessary. This isn't about rushing through the pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about facing it head on, feeling every ache, every sting, every tear. because only then can you let it go. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for something that's not coming. You have to stop pretending that their leaving means you're broken. You're not broken. You're still here, still breathing, still worthy. And that's where your power lies, in showing up for yourself every day, even when it hurts, in choosing to believe that your heart can heal. That love will come again, but not because you're owed it, because you deserve it. You are not less because they left. You are not less because they chose differently. You are whole. You are enough. You are ready to reclaim your life. So hold on to that truth. Say it when the nights get long. Say it when the memories haunt you. Say it when your heart wants to believe the lie one more time. You have to stop pretending they owed you forever. Because once you do, you open the door to something real, something healing, something new. Your pain is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you stop pretending, where you stop waiting, where you start living. And that's why this lesson matters. Because the journey ahead asks for your courage, your raw honesty, your willingness to face the truth and keep moving forward. So carry this with you as you step into what comes next. Feel the rage, then let it go. Because before healing can happen, before power can be reclaimed, you have to feel it all. The anger, the betrayal, the sorrow. And then you have to let it go. This is your permission slip. To stop pretending. To stop blaming. To stop holding on to what's gone. To begin the work of healing. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their return. You need yourself. And that's enough. Always has been. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for closure. They already showed you who they are. Now it's time to show up for who you are. The real you. The brave you. The you who is ready to heal. Chapter 2. Feel the rage, then let it go. Anger is not the enemy. It's your body's raw alarm system screaming at you, telling you that something was deeply wrong. You were wronged. Not just a little, not just in passing, but so profoundly that your heart cracked open and spilled pain all over your days. Don't pretend you're fine. Don't swallow that fire inside. Feel it. Feel the heat. Let it rage through your veins like a storm you can't outrun. You might want to numb it. You might want to hide from it, push it down with distractions or false smiles. But every time you do, that fire turns cold. It turns into a slow poison choking you, tying your hands, locking you inside a cage built from silence and shame. Scream inside if you have to. Yell at the ceiling in the dead of night. Punch a pillow until your knuckles bleed. Write everything down in a notebook you'll burn later. Do whatever it takes to let that anger out, because anger is your body's way of saying this wasn't okay. This was a violation of your trust, your love, your very self. You don't have to be polite to your pain. You don't have to dress it up or explain it away. Let it be loud. Let it be ugly. Let it be what it is. Because only when you feel anger fully can you begin to understand what you lost and what you refused to settle for. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. Rage left unchecked becomes a prison. It's not freedom to stay angry forever. Anger turns into bitterness, and bitterness is a slow death. It's a weight that drags you down every time you try to move forward. You'll find yourself replaying every insult, every betrayal, every moment they made you feel less than. You'll keep asking why, and the silence you get back will echo louder than any answer. Rage can chain you to the past. It can make you a ghost of the person you used to be. You'll wear your fury like a badge, but really, it's a shackle. So own your fury on it completely. Don't let it consume you, but don't pretend it's not there either. Stand in it. Say, yes, I'm angry. Say it until it feels like breathing. Then channel that fire. Use it. Use it to fuel the life they refuse to give you. Use your rage as a hammer to break through walls they built around your heart. Use it as a torch to light up the dark places where hope used to live, but was stomped out. This isn't about revenge. It's not about making them pay. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about saying, I will not be small because of what you did to me. And you channel anger into action. You reclaim control. You choose how you live. You set boundaries that say, this is where I draw the line. You stop tolerating disrespect disguised as love. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand. You find new company people who see your worth and refuse to let you forget it. You say yes to yourself more than you say yes to others. Let anger be a spark, not a chain. Let it ignite change instead of burning you down. Take a moment to think about what you need to stop doing. Stop replaying their betrayal like it's a movie you can't turn off. Stop asking for apologies you'll never get. Stop believing you're broken beyond repair. Stop shrinking to fit someone else's version of you. Stop holding on to the illusion that if you could just fix them, everything would be okay. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their closure to move on. You don't need their presence to feel whole again. You have to let go. Start doing what empowers you. Start by setting one boundary or something small but powerful. Maybe it's unfollowing them on social media. Maybe it's saying no to a friend who keeps dragging old wounds back into the light. Maybe it's carving out time for yourself every day, even if it's just 10 minutes to breathe and be. Let that boundary be a declaration. I am worth protecting. Then build on that. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Engage in activities that refill your cup. Write down your goals, not the ones they wanted for you, but the ones you want for yourself. Use your anger to fuel these steps. Let it remind you why you deserve better. Remember, this isn't about them anymore. It never was. They already showed you who they are, and you saw it clearly. Stop waiting for closure. Stop chasing ghosts in their absence. This is about you, about reclaiming your life from the wreckage of what you thought love was, about learning to trust yourself again, about standing so tall that, when you look back, you don't see the pain, you see the power you found in spite of it. Anger is brutal. It's raw. It's messy. But it's also a gift. It's your body's way of telling you that you're alive, that you mattered, that you won't settle for less than you deserve. Feel the rage. Let it wash over you like a storm. Then let it go. Turn that storm into wind beneath your wings. Let it carry you to a place where love doesn't hurt, where respect isn't conditional, and where you are free. You don't have to be perfect in this process. You don't have to get it right on the first try. You will stumble. You will fall. You will get mad all over again. And that's okay. Healing isn't a straight line. It's a spiral, looping back through pain and growth again and again. Each time you feel anger, feel it fully. Then ask yourself, what can this teach me? How can this make me stronger? How can this push me forward? This chapter isn't about erasing anger. It's about transforming it. From a weapon turned inward into a tool built outward. From a chain that holds you captive to a spark that lights your path. You have to let go of the illusion that anger will protect you. It won't. Only you can protect you. Only you can choose how far you let this pain define your story. You are not the sum of their betrayal. You are the sum of every time you stood up after falling down. You are the fire that keeps burning, even when the night is darkest. Now take that fire and use it. Build the life they refuse to give you. Not for them, not for anyone else, for you. Because this isn't about them anymore. It's about you. And the next step is learning to stop chasing ghosts in their absence. Chapter 3. Stop chasing ghosts in their absence. Can't catch a shadow. You can't hold on to what's already gone. It's invisible, untouchable, and it slips through your fingers every time you try to grasp it. That's the hard truth. The person you loved has moved on, just like the title Saisi moved on like you meant nothing. And no amount of chasing, no amount of scrolling through old texts or refreshing their social media will change that fact. You have to stop chasing ghosts. It's painful because part of you still hopes. Hope is a sneaky thing. It convinces you that if you just look one more time, if you just send one more message, if you just imagine a different ending, maybe they'll come back. But they won't. Not because you're not worth it, but because they already showed you who they are. You can't rewrite their story, and holding on to the hope of a different ending only deepens your wounds. It drags out the pain. It traps you in a loop where you're stuck in yesterday, unable to step into today. You have to let go of the idea that you can control their return. You can't. Trying to force, it only delays your healing. Every time you check their profile, every time you replay an old conversation, you're reopening a wound that wants to close. It's like poking at a scab. Sure, you want to know what's underneath, but all you do is bleed more. You don't need to see their smile lighting up a new life or hear their laughter echoing without you. You don't need to know what they're doing or with whom. That information doesn't serve your healing. It's poison disguised as curiosity. Replace the habit of chasing the past with something that roots you in the now. This is where your power lies in the present moment, not in a faded memory or a vanished presence. When the urge to check their social media hits, pause, breathe, ask yourself, what am I really seeking? Are you trying to find closure, or are you just soothing your own loneliness? Because here's another truth. Closure isn't something they owe you. Closure is something you create for yourself. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their words to move on. You need to choose yourself. Self-care isn't just bubble baths and candles, although those can help. It's about creating new habits that build your life forward. It's about filling your time with things that nourish your soul instead of draining it. When you catch yourself scrolling through their feed or rereading old texts, stop. Put your phone down. Go outside if you can. Feel the sun on your face. Take a walk, even if it's slow. Notice the sounds around you, the birds, the wind, the distant hum of life moving on. You are still here. You are still breathing. That alone is a miracle. That alone is worth investing in. Write down your feelings instead of sending them to someone who won't read them anymore. Pour your heart onto paper or a screen and let it out. Let yourself cry. Let yourself scream into a pillow. Let yourself feel the rawness without judgment. This isn't weakness, this is strength. This is bravery. You are facing your pain instead of running from it. And every time you do, you break the chains that tie you to the past. When the urge to reach out comes, stop and ask yourself, is this about finding closure, or is it about filling a hole inside you? Because if it's the latter, reaching out won't fix it. No message, no late-night text, no desperate plea will fill that void. Only you can fill it. You have to learn to sit with your loneliness without fear. You have to own it. Own your loneliness like it's a part of you, not something to be ashamed of, not something to run from. When you do, you start to understand something powerful. Loneliness is not the enemy. Loneliness is a signal. It's telling you that you need to reconnect with yourself. You don't need to be in constant contact with their memory. You don't need to live in the past. You don't need to keep reaching for what's no longer there. Every time you choose yourself over the ghost of them, you reclaim your power. Every time you say no to the urge to chase, you say yes to your healing. You don't need their permission to move on. You don't need their validation to feel whole. It's okay to miss them. It's okay to grieve. But don't mistake your grief for a reason to keep reaching back into the shadows. You have to step away from the darkness and into the light of your own life. It's not easy. No one said it would be, but it's necessary. Because this isn't about them anymore, it's about you. Your peace, your future, your happiness. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means accepting. Accepting that they are gone and that you deserve better. You deserve someone who chooses you every day, not someone who moves on like you meant nothing. You deserve to stop waiting for closure that will never come. You deserve to stop pretending that their absence is temporary. It's not, and that's okay. When you stop chasing ghosts, you make room for something real. You make space for new beginnings. You make space for yourself. You make space for healing. And healing is not a straight line. It's messy. It's painful. But it's also beautiful. Because every step away from the past is a step toward your future. Remember what you learned before. Love is not a debt. It's a gift. And when someone takes their love back or walks away, it's not because you are unworthy. It's because they chose to give it elsewhere. That's on them, not you. Your worth is not tied to their choices. Your worth is inherent. You have to believe that, even when your heart feels shattered. So stop chasing ghosts. Stop scrolling through old memories that haunt you. Stop reaching out to someone who has already moved on. Instead, choose yourself. Choose your healing. Choose your life. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their closure to move on. You need to own your loneliness without fear. That's the next step. That's where real growth begins. That's where you begin to rebuild, stronger and wiser than before. Chapter 4. Own your loneliness without fear. Loneliness is not your enemy. It's not a sign that you're broken or less than. It's not a weakness you need to hide or fix immediately. It's the raw, open space left behind when the noise of someone else's presence has gone silent. You have to sit in that silence. You have to own it, even when it feels unbearable. Because this space, this emptiness, it's the clearing before growth. It's where you begin to find yourself again, not as a shadow of someone else's love, but as a fierce, whole person who can stand alone. You might want to run from it. That's the first thing your heart will tell you to do. Fill the void. Keep busy. Scroll, text, drink, date. Anything to avoid the ache of being alone with your own thoughts. Resist that urge. Every distraction you grab onto is a bandage, not a cure. Rebound relationships. They're just echoes of the past, not bridges to the future. Filling your life with noise won't drown out the loneliness. It will only bury it, and buried pain doesn't heal. It festers. True healing demands time alone. Honest time with your own heart, the heart that's been broken, bruised, and battered. This is how you learn to love yourself fiercely and fully. Not because someone else told you you're lovable, but because you looked in the mirror and decided to be your own refuge. This is not a consolation prize. It's the foundation of everything that comes next. Without this love, every future relationship will be built on shaky ground. When you sit with your loneliness, you begin to discover things about yourself you forgot or never knew. Your passions, your desires, the parts of you that have nothing to do with who they were or what you had together. This isn't selfishness, it's survival. It's reclaiming your life piece by piece. The hobbies you stopped because they didn't fit into their world. The dreams you shelved because they made the future uncertain. Bring them back. Light them up again. This is your time to be selfish in the best way. To pour your energy into you. It's okay to feel broken. It's okay to feel lost. But don't mistake these feelings for permanent states. This is a process, a hard, painful process. But every moment you spend alone with your pain is a moment you're building resilience. You're proving to yourself that you don't need anyone else to complete you. You're whole already, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Stop waiting for closure. Stop waiting for their apology or explanation. They already showed you who they are. You have to let go of the hope that things will be different, or that someone else's actions will fix your broken heart. Healing comes from within. It starts when you stop looking outside yourself for answers and start looking inside. You might feel like loneliness is a punishment, like you're being singled out to suffer. But it's not. It's a gift in disguise. A brutal, painful gift, yes, but a gift nonetheless. Because it forces you to stop running, to stop pretending, to stop chasing ghosts. It forces you to face yourself, the real you, without any distractions or excuses. This is the time to build a new relationship with yourself. A relationship based on honesty and kindness. A relationship where you listen to your own needs and respect your own boundaries. It's where you learn to comfort yourself when the nights get long and the silence gets loud. You don't have to be perfect at it. You just have to show up day after day, willing to sit with your own company. Some days will be harder than others. Some days loneliness will feel like a weight pressing down on your chest, making it hard to breathe. That's normal. That's part of the process. But remember, every breath you take in those moments is a victory. Every time you choose to stay with your feelings instead of running, you are healing. Don't let fear convince you that being alone means you're unlovable or unwanted. The truth is the opposite. Being alone right now is a sign that you're brave. It means you're willing to face your pain head-on instead of masking it with temporary fixes. It means you're preparing yourself for a better love. A love that starts from within and radiates outward. Use this time to rediscover your worth. Write down the things you love about yourself, even if it feels awkward or small. Sometimes the smallest affirmations are the most powerful. Notice your strengths. Notice your kindness, your resilience, your courage. These are the things that will carry you through the darkest nights. Set boundaries with yourself and others. This means no rushing back into relationships just to feel less lonely. No settling for less than you deserve because you're afraid of being alone. Your loneliness is not a call to numb yourself, but a call to protect your heart fiercely. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanation to move on. You don't owe anyone the gift of your peace. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You have to let go. Let go of the fantasy that someone else's presence will fix what's broken. Let go of the false hope that you're waiting for closure when the only closure you need is the one you give yourself. This is the work of a lifetime, but it starts here. In this quiet, lonely space, don't rush through it. Don't run away from it. Embrace it fully. Because from this place, you will grow. From this place, you will begin to trust yourself again. From this place, you will find the foundation for all future love, starting with the love you give yourself. You are not alone in your loneliness. Many have walked this path before you and emerged stronger, wiser, more whole. You will too, but only if you stop pretending that you're okay when you're not. Only if you stop chasing ghosts in their absence. Only if you stop waiting for their apology or explanation. This isn't about them anymore. This is about you. You have to let go. You have to sit with your solitude. You have to own it without fear, because inside that loneliness lies the seed of your rebirth. And that seed, once nurtured, will grow into a love so fierce and so full that nothing and no one can take it from you. Stop waiting for their apology or explanation. That chapter is next. But first, live this one fully. Own this space. Own your loneliness. It's where your true healing begins. Chapter 5. Stop waiting for their apology or explanation. You're still waiting. Waiting for them to say the words that will make it all make sense. Waiting for that apology that will erase the pain. Waiting for an explanation that will fix the chaos inside you. Stop. Stop waiting. Waiting keeps you trapped, stuck in a limbo that only feeds your heartbreak. Closure is not a gift they owe you. Closure is not something they will hand over when they're ready. Closure is something you build from the wreckage they left behind. You have to understand this. Closure is yours to create. No one else will give it to you. No matter how much you want that one conversation, that one acknowledgement, that one "I'm sorry," it may never come. You can't control their actions or their willingness to face what they've done. You can only control how you respond. And the first step to healing is to stop waiting for a door that might never open. Because every second you wait, you stay wounded. Every moment spent hoping is a moment you let them keep power over your heart. They already showed you who they are. If they wanted to explain, they would have. If they wanted to apologize, they would have. Holding on to the hope that they will fix what they broke is like clutching at smoke. It slips through your fingers every time. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanation to move forward. Their silence or their refusal to acknowledge your pain is a reflection of them, not you. Some questions will never be answered. Some wounds will never be acknowledged. Accept that. This is hard. It's one of the hardest truths you'll face. You want to understand why they left, why they hurt you, why they didn't fight for you. You want to hear their side, see their regret, feel their remorse. But sometimes you won't. Sometimes the story ends in a messy, painful silence. That silence is not your burden to fix. Your peace depends on letting it go. You need to stop chasing their reasons. Stop digging for closure in their absence. Stop building castles in the air based on what you hope they might say someday. That's not healing. That's holding yourself hostage. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your power and your peace. So what do you do when the apology never comes? When the explanation is forever out of reach? You create your own closure. You write your own ending to the story. You declare your end, your lessons, and your next chapter. You decide what this heartbreak means for your life. You decide how it shapes you. You decide when it's time to close the door. Write it down if you have to. Write a letter you never send. Write a goodbye that you say out loud to yourself in the quiet of the night. Declare to the universe that you are done waiting, done hoping, done letting their silence define your worth. Your healing doesn't depend on their words. It depends on your willingness to let go. You have to stop thinking that their apology will fix your broken pieces. It won't. Real healing comes from inside. It comes from facing your pain head on, feeling it fully, and then choosing to move forward anyway. This is the work you have to do for yourself. This is the love you owe yourself. Remember, you don't owe them anything. Not explanations, not forgiveness, not a place in your heart. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself freedom. And sometimes that means walking away without a backward glance. Sometimes it means acknowledging that the story you had hoped for is not the story you get. And that's okay. You can mourn the missing pieces without waiting for them to be returned. You can honor your pain without needing their validation. You can find strength in the silence they leave behind. You can build a life where their absence is not a wound, but a lesson. Don't let yourself get stuck in the what-ifs or the whys that will never be answered. Don't let yourself live in the shadow of a closure that might never come. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for closure. Because closure is not theirs to give. It's yours to claim. This is your moment to reclaim your story, to take the pen and write the ending you deserve, to say, this is how it ends for me. This is what I learned. This is how I grow. That declaration is powerful. It breaks the chains of waiting. It releases you from the prison of unanswered questions. You've already felt the rage. You've already owned your loneliness. You've already stopped chasing ghosts. Now it's time to take the final step. Accept that some things will never be explained, some apologies will never be given, and some doors will never be reopened. Your peace depends on it. Your freedom depends on it. You're not waiting anymore. You're not stuck in limbo. You're moving forward on your own terms, with your own story. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. It's about your healing, your growth, your next chapter. And when you're ready, you'll recognize what love should never feel like. Because you'll have stopped waiting for what was never going to come. You'll have started living for what's still possible. Chapter 6. Recognize what love should never feel like. Love left you broken, confused, or doubting yourself. Then what you experienced was not love. It might have felt like love. It might have looked like love. But love doesn't make you question your worth or twist your mind into knots. Love doesn't leave you feeling small, unseen, or unimportant. What you're holding on to, what you're still hurting over, was a lesson in disguise. It was a mirror showing you what love should never feel like. Real love uplifts you. Real love respects you. Real love honors you. You have to hear this again. If you are broken because of someone, that was not love. It was a lie wearing love's clothes. And that lie has no place in your life anymore. You need to unlearn the story you told yourself about what love meant in that relationship. Because the truth is, love doesn't break you down. It builds you up. It doesn't confuse you. It clarifies. It doesn't make you doubt yourself. It confirms your value. You might be thinking, but I loved them so deeply. How could it not be love? That's the hardest part to accept. Love isn't about how much you give or how much you feel. Love is about how much you deserve to be treated. If they left you feeling small, scared, or unsure, that wasn't love. Love should never hurt your soul. Ever. Look back on the red flags you ignored. The warning signs you made excuses for. That sinking feeling when something wasn't right. But you let it slide because you wanted to believe in a happy ending. You told yourself they were just stressed or going through a hard time. You blamed yourself for their coldness or distance. You convinced yourself it was your fault or that you needed to try harder. Stop. Stop that now. Stop blaming yourself for their inability to love you properly. Recognizing those red flags is your armor. It's your shield against future pain. It's the weapon you wield to protect your heart next time. Those signs were there for a reason. They were not mistakes. They were lessons. And you have to learn from them. The excuses you made, they were just stories you told to keep holding on when you should have been letting go. You might have ignored the way they dismissed your feelings, the way they didn't show up when you needed them most, the way they made promises they never intended to keep. You might have overlooked the words that didn't match their actions. Maybe you hoped it would get better, that they would change. that love would finally show up like you imagined. You have to stop hoping for that now. You already saw who they are. This clarity is your power. It's not bitterness or cynicism. It's truth. It's the foundation you need to build something real on next time. Because you deserve real love. You deserve someone who meets you where you are, who holds your heart with care, who respects your boundaries without question. You deserve honesty, not half-truths. You deserve presence, not excuses. You deserve connection, not confusion. Commit to this truth. Never settle for less than respect. Never settle for less than genuine connection. Your heart does not belong to someone who doubts your worth or hides behind lies. Your heart is not a consolation prize. It is not something to be taken for granted or discarded when it's inconvenient. Your heart is sacred, and it deserves the truth, even when the truth hurts. You have to stop thinking that love is supposed to hurt. Stop telling yourself that pain equals love, that jealousy, control, or neglect are signs of passion. Those are the lies that trap you in cycles of heartbreak. Love doesn't look like drama or chaos. Love isn't a roller coaster of highs and lows. Love is steady. Love is safe. Love is kind. When you catch yourself excusing bad behavior, stop. When you find yourself minimizing your pain, stop. When you hear that voice inside saying, maybe I'm overreacting, or maybe it's not that bad, shut it down. You are not overreacting. Your pain is valid. Your boundaries matter. Your feelings are real. Start telling yourself a new story. Start repeating this. I deserve respect. I deserve kindness. I deserve honesty. I deserve love that doesn't hurt me. I am worthy of being treated well. Let those words be your mantra. Let them echo in your mind every time doubt creeps in. Because the more you believe it, the more you will attract it. You also need to give yourself permission to walk away from anything that doesn't meet those standards. No matter how much you want it to be love. No matter how many memories you have or how much history you share. Walking away is not failure. It is survival. It is self-respect. It is the first step toward healing. Remember, you don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanation to move on. You don't need their recognition of what they did wrong. You only need to recognize what love should never feel like, and then refuse to accept anything less from now on. This isn't about them anymore. This is about you. It's about reclaiming your heart, your peace, your sense of self. It's about building a foundation strong enough to hold the love you truly deserve. It's about breaking free from the chains of confusion and pain that kept you stuck. You have to let go of the false hope that they will come back and make it right. They already showed you who they are. You have to stop chasing what was never real. Stop waiting for closure from someone who never cared enough to give it. This story you're holding on to. It's time to close that chapter. Instead, focus on what real love feels like. It feels safe. It feels respectful. It feels like being seen and heard without fear of judgment. It feels like being valued for who you are, not who they want you to be. It feels like freedom, not imprisonment. You are learning to spot the difference now. You are learning to trust your instincts again. You are learning that your heart is not a puzzle to solve or a problem to fix. It is a treasure to protect. And protecting your heart means saying no to anything that doesn't honor it. Let this be your promise to yourself. No more settling. No more making excuses. No more tolerating disrespect. No more confusing pain for love. You are worth more than that. You are worth real love in all its beautiful, messy, healing glory. This clarity is your new compass. It will guide you through the darkness. It will steady you when the doubt tries to pull you back in. It will remind you that you are not broken, you are not lost, and you are not alone. You have survived what wasn't love. Now, it's time to find what is. Not in them, not in their apologies or promises, but in yourself, in your strength, in your refusal to accept anything less than what you deserve. This journey is about reclaiming your identity outside of them, about rediscovering who you are beneath the hurt and confusion, about standing tall in your worth, no matter what anyone else did or didn't do. You don't need them to complete you. You don't need their love to validate you. You are whole on your own, and that truth will carry you forward, stronger and clearer than ever before. Chapter 7. Reclaim your identity outside of them. You are not broken. You are not incomplete. The moment they walked away, it might have felt like a part of you left with them. But here's the raw, unfiltered truth. You were whole before they came into your life, and you remain whole now. Their leaving is not a fracture in your existence seat, it's an invitation. An invitation to rediscover who you are beneath the shadows of what you lost. This isn't about patching a hole or filling an empty space. It's about peeling back the layers that got tangled up in their absence and finding yourself again. You are not half a person waiting to be completed. You are whole, entire, and capable of being fully yourself in your own terms. Stop thinking of yourself as someone who needs them to be okay. Stop waiting for that elusive moment when you'll feel normal again, because you won't. Normal is different now, and that's a good thing, because the old normal was built around a relationship that no longer serves you. The old normal was a story that stopped being true the moment they chose to leave. So stop chasing the idea that you need them to be whole. You are already whole. The real work is moving into yourself, not moving on from them. Ask yourself, what excites you, what makes your heart race without shame or apology? Maybe it's something you forgot you loved. Maybe it's something you never tried because the relationship shaped your world in ways you didn't realize. Dive deep into those feelings. What scares you? What lights a fire inside you? This is not about distraction or busying yourself to forget. This is about remembering and reclaiming. Moving into yourself means stepping into the parts of you that were quieted, ignored, or hidden away. It's about waking up to your own desires and needs and giving yourself permission to pursue them fiercely. You might feel like you're stepping into unknown territory, and that's terrifying. Fear is a sign you're alive. It means you're pushing boundaries. It means you're breaking free from the cage that kept you tethered to a story that no longer fits. Lean into that fear. Let it remind you that you're growing. Growth is uncomfortable, but comfort is the enemy of healing. So when you feel scared, remember it's part of becoming who you were always meant to be. This isn't just about moving on, it's about moving into yourself. Not just finding new distractions, but building a life that reflects the real you, not the version that existed to fit someone else's needs. Your routines, your hobbies, your friendships, they all need to be rewired. Stop doing what you did because it reminded you of them, or because it was what you did together. Start doing what makes you feel alive. Build new rituals that honor your true self. It might feel strange at first, even lonely, but over time, these new habits become the backbone of your reclaimed identity. Think about your friendships. Did you lose yourself in their world? Did you put some friends on the shelf because they didn't fit into the relationship? It's time to reconnect with old friends who see you, who remember who you were before the relationship. It's also time to make new friends who reflect the person you are becoming. You don't have to do this alone. Healing requires community, but it has to be with people who hold space for your truth, not people who remind you of what's gone. Stop waiting for them to come back or for the apology that will never come. They already showed you who they are. Their leaving isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their choices. Your worth is not tied to their presence or absence. You don't need their apology to heal. The only approval you need is your own. Start giving it to yourself. You might find yourself slipping back into old patterns, checking their social media, replaying conversations, wondering what could have been different. Stop. Every time you do, remind yourself that this isn't about them anymore, it's about you. Every moment spent caught in their story is a moment stolen from your own. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for closure that won't come from them. Closure comes from within. It comes from deciding that your life is bigger than this pain, that your story is worth telling without them as the center. Reclaiming your identity means facing yourself honestly. It means acknowledging the parts of you that were shaped by the relationship and deciding which parts you want to keep and which parts you want to shed. You might have believed you were less without them. That's a lie your heart needs to unlearn. You are not less. You are not incomplete. You are more than enough exactly as you are. This process is messy. You will have days when you forget, days when the pain feels fresh and sharp. That's okay. Healing is not linear. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But every time you choose yourself over the pain, you move closer to wholeness. Every time you push through the fear, you grow stronger. Every time you build a new habit or reconnect with a friend who sees you, you reclaim a piece of yourself that was lost. You have a choice. You can live in the shadow of what ended, or you can step into the light of who you are becoming. You can let heartbreak define you, or you can use it as a catalyst to rediscover your strength, your passions, your true self. This isn't about pretending the pain isn't there. It's about refusing to let the pain have the final word. Start small if you have to. Maybe it's waking up 10 minutes earlier to write down what you're grateful for. Maybe it's signing up for a class you've always wanted to try. Maybe it's reaching out to a friend you've neglected. These small acts build momentum. They create a new narration where you are the hero of your story, not a shadow of the past. Remember, you don't need to rush this. Healing doesn't have a timeline. You don't have to have it all figured out today. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself, that you keep choosing to discover what makes you come alive, that you keep building a life that reflects your truth, not the version shaped by the relationship you lost. You are not half a person waiting to be completed. You are whole. Their leaving is a painful invitation, yes, but also a powerful one. An invitation to reclaim your identity outside of them, to dive deep into what excites you, scares you, and makes you feel alive, to build new routines, hobbies, and friendships that reflect the person you truly are. This isn't about moving on. It's about moving into yourself. And that is where your healing begins. Now that you've started to reclaim who you are, the next step is just as crucial. You need to build boundaries that protect your heart. Because reclaiming your identity is powerful, but without boundaries, your heart remains vulnerable. Boundaries are the armor that keeps your newfound self safe from further harm. They help you hold on to your worth and refuse anything less than respect and care. So take this truth with you. You are whole. You are enough. And now, you're ready to protect that truth fiercely. The next step is setting those boundaries that will guard your heart as you continue this journey. Because the best way to honor who you've reclaimed is to refuse to let anyone dim your light again. Chapter 8. Build boundaries that protect your heart. Heartbreak is a brutal teacher. It slams into you, leaving bruises you can't see but feel deep in your chest. And if you're honest, it also teaches you one of the hardest lessons. Not everyone deserves your time, your energy, or your heart. You have to learn to say no. Not just to people, but to situations that dim your light, that make you feel smaller, less worthy, or less alive. Saying no isn't easy, especially when your heart has been cracked open and you're desperate to feel whole again. But this is where healing begins. You must protect what's left of your heart with boundaries that aren't meant to punish others, but to shield you from further harm. Boundaries can feel like walls, cold, unyielding, and isolating. But that's not what they are. Think of boundaries as gates that you control. Gates that let in the good and keep out the toxic. They are your emotional armor, not a fortress built to keep people out forever. You don't have to apologize for needing them. You don't have to feel guilty for drawing lines where you once let others walk all over you. When you learn to hold your ground, you reclaim your power. You say to yourself, I matter. My feelings matter. My peace matters. It's normal to hesitate, to worry that saying no will make you seem harsh or unloving. But here's the truth. When you don't say no, you say yes to pain. When you don't protect your heart, you invite heartbreak to become a habit. You trap yourself in a cycle of giving too much, forgiving too easily, and expecting too little in return. No more. This isn't about shutting down or hardening your heart. It's about choosing who and what gets to live there. Start small. Practice saying no without guilt. Say no to that text that triggers old wounds. Say no to plans that don't feel right. Say no to conversations that drain you. You don't owe explanations or justifications. Your no is enough. Each time you do this, your self-respect grows. You'll start to notice that your energy feels lighter, your mind less cluttered. You'll remember what it feels like to put yourself first, and that feeling is powerful. Listen closely. Heartbreak doesn't just teach you who to avoid. It also shows you who deserves you, who lifts you up instead of tearing you down, who respects your limits and cherishes your presence without trying to control or consume it. These people are rare, but they exist, and boundaries help you find them by clearing the noise. When you protect your heart, you create space for healthy connections that nurture you. This is how you heal. Truly heal not by chasing ghosts or clinging to what's gone, but by building a life where your heart can rest. Remember, boundaries are not about being mean or cold. They are acts of self-love. They are your way of saying, I'm worth more than pain disguised as love. You don't have to let anyone cross the lines that keep you safe. You don't have to wait for someone else to respect your boundaries. You respect them first. You teach others how to treat you by what you tolerate. If you tolerate disrespect, you teach people it's okay to disrespect you. If you tolerate being treated like an option, you tell the world you're okay with being less than a priority. That stops now. It's okay to feel uncomfortable when you start setting boundaries. It's okay if people react negatively. That reaction is not your problem. You don't have to carry the weight of their disappointment or frustration. If they truly care about you, they will respect your limits. If they don't, that's a clear sign they don't deserve a place in your life. You don't need their approval to heal. You don't need their permission to protect your heart. Think about your energy like a precious resource. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you keep giving to those who drain you, there's nothing left for you. Boundaries help you manage that energy. They help you decide where and with whom to invest your time and love. And that decision is yours alone. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. Stop waiting for closure from them. They already showed you who they are. You don't need their apology or acknowledgement to move forward. You need yourself. You need your boundaries. You need to say no when you want to say no, and yes when it feels right. You need to stop chasing people who dim your light and start protecting your spark. When you practice this, something shifts inside. You start to feel steadier, stronger. The ache of heartbreak doesn't disappear overnight, but it stops controlling you. You stop making excuses for people who hurt you. You stop pretending you can keep giving when you're empty. You stop waiting for love to come from places that never had it to give. This isn't about building walls to keep everyone out. It's about building gates that open only for those who bring you peace, respect, and kindness. It's about learning to love yourself enough to say, no more. I deserve better. And when you say that, you're not just protecting your heart, you are healing it. So start today. Write down what you will no longer tolerate. Say it out loud if you have to. Practice saying no in small ways. Notice how it feels to take care of yourself first. You are not selfish for protecting your heart. You are brave. You are wise. You are reclaiming your life from the chaos of heartbreak. This is how you stop heartbreak from becoming a habit. This is how you build a foundation strong enough to stand on when everything else feels like it's falling apart. This is how you prepare for a love that respects your boundaries, honors your heart, and never asks you to dim your light. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their permission to say no. This isn't about them anymore, it's about you. Protect your heart like the precious thing it is. Because once you do, you'll find peace. You'll find strength. And most importantly, you'll find yourself again. Next, we'll explore how to stop seeking validation outside yourself. Because real healing begins when you stop looking for worth in the eyes of others and start seeing it within. Chapter 9. Stop seeking validation outside yourself. You've been looking for them. Approval, a sign, a word that makes you feel less lost. That text message, a like, a glance, anything to tell you that you're still enough. But here's the truth. When you look for validation from someone who left, you're setting yourself up to break over and over again. You're tethering your worth to a person who already walked away. It's a trap, a loop that keeps your heart raw and open to pain. You think if they just said the right thing, if they just showed up, if they just noticed you, then maybe you'd stop hurting. But they moved on like you meant nothing. And clinging to their approval only keeps their absence loud and your wounds fresh. It's time to stop giving them that power. Stop waiting for their nod, their sign, their recognition. You don't need it. You never did. You've been starving for love from the wrong place. You've been reaching for a voice that went silent, hoping it would come back and fill the emptiness inside. But here's what heartbreak teaches you in the quietest, cruelest way. The only validation that lasts is the one you give yourself. The only love that won't abandon you is the one you build inside your own heart. You get to be your own biggest fan. You get to be the one who says, you're enough, you're worthy. You get to be the source of your own love and affirmation. This kind of validation is bulletproof. It doesn't vanish when they leave. It doesn't flicker out when you're alone. It stands firm through rejection, silence, and betrayal. This isn't just a pep talk. It's a survival skill. When you learn to validate yourself, you take your power back. You stop needing their approval because you already gave yourself something stronger and unshakable belief in your own worth. Start small. You don't have to fix this overnight. Begin by celebrating the little winced mornings you get out of bed when your heart feels heavy moments you choose kindness over bitterness, the times you speak gently to yourself instead of tearing yourself down. Honor your feelings. Don't push them away or pretend you're fine. Say out loud, I'm hurting. This is hard. Give your pain space to exist without judgment. When you honor your emotions, you send yourself a message. You are worthy of care, even from yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Imagine the voice you need right now. What would your best friend say? What would a loving parent whisper? Let that voice be yours. Say it when you wake up. Say it before you sleep. Let it fill the empty spaces left behind by their silence. You don't have to wait for anyone else to give you those words. You can be your own source of comfort and strength. And the more you practice, the less you'll crave outside approval. The less you'll feel like a shadow chasing someone who's already gone. Remember the lessons you've learned so far. You've stopped pretending they owed you forever. You felt the rage and let it go. You've stopped chasing ghosts and owned your loneliness. You've stopped waiting for apologies and recognized what love should never feel like. You've reclaimed your identity and built boundaries. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You have to let go of the idea that their approval will heal you. It won't. They already showed you who they are, and you don't need their apology to heal. You need your own love, your own validation. This path isn't easy. It's messy and slow. There will be days when you want to text them just to hear a word of affirmation. There will be nights when the silence feels deafening. But each time you choose to validate yourself instead of waiting for them, you take a step toward freedom. You're teaching your heart a new rhythm that beats on its own. No longer waiting for someone else to set the pace. You're learning to fill your own cup so you don't run dry when others walk away. Start by writing down a list of your wins, no matter how small. Maybe it's getting through the day without collapsing into despair. Maybe it's reaching out to a friend instead of isolating yourself. Maybe it's simply breathing through the pain. Celebrate those moments. Say, I see you. I'm proud of you. Let those words sink in. Let them be louder than the silence they left behind. Then honor your feelings. Don't rush past the grief or shame or anger. Let them live inside you without shame. Say, it's okay to feel this, because it is. Your feelings are valid. Your pain is real. And finally, speak kindly to yourself every day. Replace harsh judgments with gentle truths. When your mind says, you're not enough, respond with, I am enough. When it whispers, they wanted someone better, say, I am worthy of love. This internal validation is your armor. It's the foundation of your healing. It won't erase the past, but it will protect you from the same wounds in the future. You won't need to seek love in places that don't hold it. You won't have to beg for approval from people who never valued you. You will stand tall, whole, and unshaken, because you have built your worth from the inside out. The heartbreak you're living through is brutal. It's raw. It's unfair. But it's also a turning point. You're not just surviving this, you are learning how to live for yourself, fully and fiercely. This journey is about choosing growth over grief every single day. It's about shifting your focus from what you lost to what you're gaining. Self-love, strength, and freedom. So stop waiting for their validation. Stop hoping for their approval. They moved on like you meant nothing, but you mean everything to yourself. You are your own best friend now, your own fiercest protector, your own biggest fan, and that is the most powerful place you can be. Chapter 10. Choose growth over grief every day. Healing doesn't come wrapped in neat packages or clear timelines. It's not a straight road. It's a twisting, turning path, and sometimes it feels like you're walking backward more than forward. That's the truth nobody warns you about. You wake up some mornings feeling lighter, like maybe you're finally moving on, and then the next day, the weight crushes you again. This is normal. This is expected. Healing isn't a finish line you cross once and never look back. It's a daily choice. Every morning, every night, every moment. To choose growth over grief, to pick hope over despair, to love yourself instead of drowning in self-pity. You will have days where the pain feels fresh, where the memories hit you like a tidal wave, and you want to give up. You want to stay in that dark place and let the sorrow swallow you whole. But here's the thing, those days don't define you. They don't erase the progress you've made. They don't mean you're failing. They mean you're human. You stumble, you fall. But what matters is that you get back up. You take that shaky first step, even if it's small. Maybe it's just getting out of bed. Maybe it's making a phone call to a friend. Maybe it's writing down one thing you're grateful for. Whatever it is, it counts. Every small step forward chips away at the grief and builds your strength. Let me remind you of something crucial. Heartbreak is not your identity. You are not the pain you carry. You are not the tears you shed. You are not the nights spent wondering what went wrong or why you weren't enough. Heartbreak is a chapter in your story, not the whole book. It's a brutal, painful chapter, yes, but also a powerful catalyst. When you face it honestly, when you let it teach you instead of defeat you, it shapes you into someone stronger, wiser, more resilient. You're not stuck in that moment. You're growing beyond it. So how do you choose growth over grief every day? It starts with what you tell yourself. Stop replaying the same scenes over and over in your head. Stop asking what if or why me. Those questions are like quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. Instead, say to yourself, this is hard, but I'm going to get through it. Say, I am more than this pain. Say, I deserve better. And I'm going to find it in myself first. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love deeply. Because you deserve that kindness. You deserve that compassion from yourself. Next, set small, achievable goals that push you toward healing. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means finding a way to live with what happened without letting it control you. Maybe today your goal is just to breathe deeply a few times when the pain hits. Tomorrow, it might be taking a walk outside, even if you don't feel like it. The day after, it might be journaling one honest thought about how you feel. These little acts are powerful. They remind your heart that you are still in charge. You are the author of your story, not the heartbreak. Yes, some days you will stumble. You will cry. You will feel like you're back at square one. That's okay. It doesn't erase the progress you've made. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're healing. Real healing is messy. You'll have good days and bad days, sometimes mixed in the same hour. Don't fight it. Don't judge yourself for it. Just keep moving. Keep choosing to get up, to learn from your pain, to take one more step forward. Even if it's just a tiny shuffle, it's still forward. Remember, this isn't about them anymore. They already showed you who they are. You don't need their apology, their explanation, or their validation. You don't need their permission to heal. This is about you reclaiming your life, your joy, your peace. This is about becoming whole again. Not because someone else left, but because you're choosing to grow. You're choosing to be better than the hurt. You're choosing to rewrite your story with courage and grace. It's time to stop waiting for closure from someone who never gave it. Stop waiting for them to come back or to explain what you can't understand. Closure doesn't come from them. Closure comes from within you. It comes from accepting what you can't change, forgiving yourself for what you didn't know, and believing that the future holds something better. Closure is choosing growth over grief every single day. Look back at the lessons you've learned so far. You stopped pretending they owed you forever. You felt the rage and let it go. You stopped chasing ghosts and owned your loneliness. You stopped waiting for an apology that never came. You recognized what love should never feel like. You reclaimed your identity outside of them. You built boundaries to protect your heart. You stopped seeking validation outside yourself. Now you're being asked to take the hardest step, to choose growth every day, even when grief screams louder. It's not easy. It's not quick, but it's necessary. It's what moves you from surviving to thriving. It's what turns heartbreak into healing. Keep reminding yourself, you are not your heartbreak. You are the person who survived it. You are the person who keeps rising, no matter how many times you fall. You are the author of your next chapter, and it will be filled with courage, strength, and love, starting with the love you give yourself. So tonight, when the pain feels unbearable, when you're tempted to give up, remember this: healing is a choice. Choose growth. Choose hope. Choose yourself. Again and again, every day. Because that is how you move on. That is how you become whole again. You started this journey broken, replaying their departure like a wound that wouldn't heal. Now you stand on firmer ground, not because they came back, but because you came back to yourself. You saw the truth. You were never their possession or their promise. You were a choice, and you're choosing better now. Keep feeding your heart with honesty and tough love. Keep building boundaries that honor your worth. Keep choosing you every day, even when it's hard. This isn't the end. It's your beginning. So rise, heal fiercely, and when you're ready, open your heart again. But this time, on your own powerful terms. Your story is far from over. It's just getting real.